Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
I blame it on first grade. Yeah. That's where I can pinpoint it, that I discovered I loved getting attention, because that's when in first grade I was cast in the lead of our Christmas play at Quarry Hill Elementary. And that's when I discovered also that it felt so good to have people see what I was doing and give me all kinds of compliments and clap. I'm Julie Lyles Carr. This is God on the Go, where we help you make the minutes matter when you are getting to all the things, driving to school, you're in the school pickup line. Conversation starters for you and your family about faith. And we are kicking off a new topic today, talking about being quiet. Now, we live in a culture that loves attention. I found this information really interesting. How many people today say they want to be famous? Over half of people today say they want to be famous. And depending on your age, where you are in a generation, those numbers can be even higher. There are people who say, yeah, I would rather be famous than anything else, than to have great relationships with other people. I would do things on the job. I would do all kinds of things if I could be famous. We love getting attention. And I get it. When I got that attention in that first grade play, it made me go, oh, this is something really nice. I like having people watching what I'm doing and gassing me up and telling me how great I am. That's such a great, fun thing. And it's not wrong to enjoy having people appreciate what you're doing. If you're doing music or sports, or you are in a spelling bee and you do a good job, it feels good for people to pay attention in that way. But I also think it's important for us to understand how beautiful it is to also be quiet, to not feel like we always have to have that attention. Jesus was with his disciples one day at the temple, and there were people coming in. They were giving all kinds of big donations, and they were making a big deal of everything they were doing. And there was someone who everybody else wasn't paying attention to. She quietly came in, and she just put 2 small coins in the donation box. And that's who Jesus noticed. And that's who Jesus pointed out to his disciples. He said, look at this woman here. She didn't have the money to give the big donation that was getting a lot of attention from other people, but she gave all that she could. And that matters so much to God, more than when we have the big splashy thing that gets us lots of attention, more than when we have anything like that. When our hearts are right, whether someone notices or someone doesn't, even when we're quiet, what we do matters and is seen by God. Jesus also gave a warning about people who are really showy about their faith. When there are people who are super loud on a stage and just saying, oh, God, I'm so glad that you made me so amazing or whatever. And Jesus pointed out the people who were quiet when they prayed, the people who took seriously their time with God. In Matthew 6:5, it says, when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who love to pray publicly on street corners and in the synagogues where everyone can see them. I tell you the truth, that is all the reward they will ever get. Sometimes when we're doing things so that everybody can see, when we are doing things so that we will get attention, that's as far as it's ever going to go. But when we do quiet things before God, he notices and he sees. Those things matter a whole lot to him. So the next time you have an opportunity to do something kind of showy, stop and think a minute. Okay, is this as far as I want it to go? Is this all the attention that I am going to get? Is this as far as this thing is going to matter? Is in the applause I get right in this moment? And then what are the quiet things that only God sees? In my work, because of the type of work it is, there is a place and time where, yes, there is attention where people notice. But you know who I really appreciate? There are some people out there who get a lot of attention for the things that they can do. People who I've been fortunate to be around. They're amazing musicians, or they're incredible authors, or they're fantastic speakers. But what always is incredible to me is when I see those same people come off the stage and they're kind to someone behind the scenes who nobody knows. When they pick up a piece of trash that somebody's left behind the stage. When they are kind and thoughtful and they're generous with their time, even when it's not under the spotlight. Because here's what I've learned. Those moments, those quiet, simple things that we do when people aren't watching, when it's not for the applause, those are the things that are big things in the kingdom of God. Thank you, George Fox University, for being a sponsor of God on the Go. George Fox University is committed to making sure that your student receives a fantastic education and is also encouraged and equipped to be exactly who God designed them to be for the calling on their life. I want you to check out George Fox University at georgefox.edu, and I'll see you next time here on the God on the Go podcast.